Hi, this is Mr. Kieffer again, and we are going to work on, it's probably going to be kind of hard for you to see, we're going to work on putting this bottom piece inside the windshield. And in Google Classroom, you will want to look at these dimensions. It's the only way to know where to put things. And so I'm going to go ahead and just slide this over to the other screen, and then I'm going to open up Autodesk Inventor. Okay, so hopefully you saved the last one you did on the windshield, the first part of it, because it's the only way you're going to find it now. I forgot to mention that, but I just assume you know that by now. Actually, I forgot to do it. So I want to go to Open to find that part, and I believe it was under Windshield Part 1 is what I saved it as. So I'm going to open that up and bring that into focus here. Okay, yes, so this is how far we have gotten before. And so now we are going to want to do an offset plane in order to build the bottom part, the bottom piece. So we'll go up to plane, and then you'll hit that little arrow, and you'll want to click on offset plane, and then you'll want to choose the surface. And the distance that you want on that offset plane is 0.67, and you'll see that over in the dimensions as well. So hit that, and then what we'll want to do is we'll want to create a sketch on that plane. So you'll click on the plane and then create a sketch. And that's turning out pretty nice. Okay, so we have that plane. It's offset a little more than half an inch, and now we will want to project geometry, because this is we will need these different. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I want to get all of it projected. That way, it'll be there when I need it, because we'll need those lines in order to dimension from those lines. So you need to project that geometry onto this new plane that we just made. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is just start out with a simple rectangle, and we're just going to draw that on this new plane that we have. And that rectangle will just, the rectangle needs to be, the bottom number there is going to be, I've got this written down, 1.54. Let me get my points in the right place here. And then the other one, the up and down, is going to be, or the height is 1.97, and then hit tab, and then hit enter. Okay, so that's good. And so what we'll want to do then is we'll want to dimension those correctly. Let's hit escape. Okay, don't really want to do that. I guess you can just kind of move it however you want to, wherever you want to move it, just to make it a little bit easier to dimension it. And so we'll go up to dimension, and let's take a look at where they need to be dimensioned to. So this front side, this side, you'll want to dimension to the outside right here, and that will be 0.68, then hit enter. But it really didn't move that much. So I got it pretty close. And then this other dimension needs to be 0.29, the bottom dimension. So we'll go from here down to the outside, and then you can slide it over here. Boy, I got really close. 0.29, and then hit enter. And so now we know we have that rectangle in the right spot. And that's very, very important to get that done. So now we'll go ahead and finish the sketch, and we will extrude that piece, that rectangle, into the top of the bottom side of the top windshield. And the way you do that, this is very, very interesting. You use where it says to next. We've never done this before, so you see the thermometer through all and go, the next one is to, and the next one is to next. What that means is it will stop whenever it hits a surface. And so we click on that. To next, click on the rectangle, and that should bring it right up into the windshield, and then click OK. And so now that is looking really good, and it's coming together. It's in the right spot. It's coming together really well. And so what I like to do is I want to click on, and let's see, I want to get rid of visibility on there, so that's out of the way. You could leave it there, but it just kind of is in the way. All right, now we could round the edges, but I think I'll wait to do that later. We'll do that later. We'll round the edges and then we'll shell it out. But there are some tiny little bumps, and boy, they can be a challenge to get those bumps right where you want them to be. So we're going to create a sketch on this block. So just create a sketch, and I like to have it so the windshield is pointing in this direction, because then it matches the dimensions and it makes it a little bit easier. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little knobs to put on the outside of this rectangle. So we'll go ahead and do that. And let's see, that's 0.05, tab 0.04, and then tab, and then enter, and escape. And then we'll do another one right here, because we'll dimension them later. And that will be 0.05, tab 0.04, and it is on the outside of this. Hit enter and then escape, and we'll just keep doing this. Okay. And we've got 0.04 tab. They did it a little bit different, 0.05, so we had to do it the opposite way, but it's the same. Just got to make sure that it's a little bit longer than it sticks out. Okay, and then rectangle. We'll go ahead and click, and we'll go 0.05 tab 0.04 tab, and then enter and escape. Got it on the outside, that's good. And if you mess up, you always just have to click backwards, the backwards arrow. It does happen at times. I made plenty of mistakes on Inventor. Really, that's the way you learn. 0.04. So the first one was 0.05, the second one is 0.04, and then enter and escape. And we'll do one more, and then we'll need to get them in their right places. So we'll go right here, and we'll go 0.04, and just the opposite on the sides that we normally do, 0.05, and then hit enter and escape. So we've got all the bumps on there. Now it's just a matter of getting them into the right position. And so let's just go ahead and we'll knock out the top two. Go dimension, click that side, click this side, and that needs to be, click on the number. What did I write down? That needs to be 0.255, and then hit enter. So that's on the outside, so we'll do this again from here to there, and that needs to be 0.225. Is that right? 0.225. Nope, that is not right. I'm glad I double checked on that. 0.255. 0.255, and then hit enter, and that is right. And just let me double check there. That's good. And so we'll go ahead and do the other two the same way we just did that. Click on that side, click on that side, and that needs to be 0.255, enter, getting them in the right spot. And the same goes with this. We'll click here, we'll click here, and I'm going to pull it up this way so I can see it. Otherwise, my face will be in the way. 0.255, and hit enter. And now it's just a matter of, we do want to get these other ones. This is a little trickier because you got to kind of zoom in and then zoom out. We'll click here, and we'll click down here, and we'll drag it out like that. And the number, that needs to be 0.96. I figured this out earlier just to save on time. 0.960 or 0.96. And we need to do the same thing for, click there, click there. You can pull it out and pull it over. I'm pulling it over, it's just easier to see. 0.960, and then hit enter. Okay, so now, in theory at least, all the bumps are in the right place. They're all the right size. And we are going to finish the sketch. And what we're going to do is we're going to extrude. And we're going to extrude to next, so we want it to go to the inside of the windshield. And now we need to select each one of these bumps, if I can get it to select. Sometimes you're going to have to zoom in a little bit to get it to select it. There, now I've selected all of them, and make sure it's to next, and then click OK. And then we'll see what just happened here. Okay, you can start to see what we just did there, those little bumps. We extruded that all the way to next to the inside of the windshield. So now it's just a matter of wanting to round off those corners. And according to the dimensions, you need to fillet those at a radius of 0.5. So go fillet and get rid of that and type in 0.15. 0.15. We'll click on that edge. Click on this edge. Click on that edge. And click on that edge. And say OK. So now we've rounded those edges, which is cool. And now it's just a matter of, we need to shell out the bottom of this piece. So we will go to shell. And I do need to look at, that needs to be shelled out at 0.05, not 0.1. That's got to be much smaller than that. 0.05. And then we click on the bottom of it, and then you say OK, and there you go. Wow, that went pretty quickly. Of course, what's always nice about these videos is that you can review them and look at them and go over them a bunch of times until you feel comfortable, and just, until you figure it out. Now the question is what should we, let's click on default. What kind of color do we want to do with this? What makes sense? We could go green polish. We could go indoor pool. That might help us be able to see through it. Let's see what that does. It's too confusing for me. I can't really see what would be the best. We could go green polish. What does that do for us? That looks pretty cool. See if there's anything else that will work maybe a little bit better. Well, I guess for now that will do. You could go with a light red, something like that as well. I was hoping to find something that's kind of green that would match the green windshield, but that looks pretty good right there, that light red, I have to say. And yep, so good job on that. So you just want to make sure and save this. And so I've already saved it once. So for me, I just need to click on this button and it will save it again. But for you, you'll click on this and then you'll type in windshield, and then you'll say okay, and then it'll be saved. Hopefully that's helpful. Have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, let me know. Take care.